Hey, how's it going? My name is Kobe-san, and today I'm going to tell you about the 10 most difficult achievements to get on a level 19 Twink in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Because you're restricted to being level 19, a lot of achievements that are normally easy to get at level 80 become very difficult, if not nearly impossible to get at level 19. Many of these will take months to obtain, and some possibly years. I've grouped similar achievements together in this list to not be redundant, so just bear that in mind. But anyway, let's get into it. Starting off with number 10 on this list, we have Damage Control. This PvP achievement requires you to do either 300,000 damage or healing in a single battleground. This is really difficult to pull off because this achievement was made with level 80 damage and healing in mind, and at 19 your damage and healing is much lower, meaning you would have to spend an entire Warsong Gulch battle constantly dealing damage or healing to get this. This isn't feasible without camping the graveyard and the battle going its full duration. The only reliable way to get this is to coordinate with people in the other team to let you keep constantly killing them for the whole match. And full damage gear and world buffs are also likely needed to guarantee that you have the damage to get this. Here are some stats from a typical Warsong Gulch match that has gone the entire duration. As you can see, you don't even get close to 300,000, so it's not possible in a normal match. Coming in at number 9 on this list, we have the last in the series of the Got My Mind on My Money achievements. This achievement requires you to loot 25,000 gold. No mobs drop a good source of gold around level 19, and if you did do it on those mobs, this achievement would probably take you years. However, if you have a high level character help you kill higher level mobs, this achievement becomes pretty feasible. Some good sources of gold for this achievement are the world bosses. What you can do is set the loot to free for all, have your high level character kill the world boss, and then just loot the gold on your Twink. There are 7 world bosses that drop around 150 gold per kill. The first world boss is Azuragos, who can be found in southern Azshara. The second is Emerus, who can be found in northeastern Feralis. The third is Lethen, who can be found in northern Hinterlands. Fourth is Terrar, who can be found in the center of Duskwood. Fifth, we have Ysandra, who's located in the far northeast corner of Ashenvale. Then finally, we have the 2 Outlands world bosses, Doomlord Kazak, who is at the throne of Kil'jaeden in Hellfire Peninsula, and Doomwalker, who is located in front of Black Temple. And when you run out of world bosses, a great place that you can continue to farm this is an Ice Crown, where there are huge groups of mobs that you can just kill for around 30 silver a kill. At number 8, we have Frostbitten and Bloody Rare. These achievements require you to kill all of the listed rare mobs in Northrend and Outland. Frostbitten is notably more difficult than Bloody Rare because a lot of the creatures are either commonly camped or in areas that players frequent. These achievements are already really difficult at 80 because of the time commitment and luck involved with finding the creatures, but doing it at level 19 just ramps up the difficulty to the moon. First, you need a high level character constantly scanning zones for the creatures, and then if you do find them, you have to get your Twink to it before someone else kills it. This requires either a 2-seater mount or a Warlock summon. Unfortunately, Wrath Classic doesn't have the X-53 touring rocket, which is the only 2-seater flying mount, so you'll have to use a 2-seater ground mount. Some of the mobs are in unreachable areas from the ground, so you're almost required to get a Warlock summon for those. Notably Viragosa, who shares a spawn with the Time-Lost Protodrake. It's likely that these achievements will take you months to complete. At number 7, we have the Needy and Greedy achievements. These achievements require you to win a Need or Greed roll on a superior or better item above level 185 by rolling 100. This achievement is already kind of rare at 80 because you have a 1 in 100 chance per roll on items in dungeons, but at level 19 these become absurdly difficult because you can't enter high level dungeons and the only way to get high level items to roll on is through BOE world drops. However, every Northrend BOE rare is under item level 185, with the sole exceptions being Durkey's Superstructure from Durkey and Skull's Fang from Skull. Durkey and Skull are both in Storm Peaks and have a respawn timer of a few hours. The problem with Durkee though is that Durkee's superstructure only has a 6% drop chance. So if you do happen to find him, you'll only have a 6% chance for it to drop and then a 1% chance to get a 100 roll. So this means you'll have about a 0.06% chance to get the achievement per kill. And you'll have to do it twice for the other type of roll. Skull's Fang, on the other hand, has a 60% drop chance, giving you a 0.6% chance per kill to get the achievement. The issue with Skull, though, is that he's a highly sought-after spirit beast for hunters due to his unique look. People search for days to find Skull to get the chance to tame him. So at best you're looking at maybe one kill every couple days. At number 6 on this list, we have 100,000 honorable kills. This achievement is pretty simple, just requires you to get 100,000 honorable kills, but it's one of the most difficult achievements in the game due to the time commitment required. On average, this will take you months to get, minimum. If you play really casually, probably a year or two. Another thing about this achievement though is that it's one of the only titles that a 19 Twink can get if you're willing to grind for it. So I hope you like doing worse on Gulch if you go for this. An alternative way you could possibly farm this is to make a second account and then make a character that you can just camp at a spirit healer. Personally, I've never seen a Twink with this title, but I have seen someone over 50,000 honorable kills. But I think that guy had been playing since Classic. At number 5 on this list, we have the achievement A Mask for All Occasions from the Hallow's End World event. Every year during Halloween, for the duration of this event, innkeepers will give you a trick-or-treat dialogue option every hour. When you do this, there's a 50% chance they'll trick you and a 50% chance that you'll get a treat bag. These treat bags have a chance to contain flimsy masks with the faces of each race, and for this achievement you have to collect every single one of those. This doesn't sound too bad until you look at the math involved. The chance for a treat bag to contain a mask is about 40%, and the chance to get a particular mask is 5%. So 50% chance to get a bag with a 40% chance to get a mask and a 5% chance to get a specific mask gives you a 1% chance per trick-or-treat to get a mask that you need. Now, the event lasts for 336 hours and you can talk to the innkeeper once per hour. What this means is that if you somehow manage to not miss a single trick-or-treat for the duration of the entire event, you would have to get 21% chance events to occur within 336 attempts. So now let's say you only play 8 hours a day. Now you'll only get 112 attempts to get 21% drops. This achievement is so mathematically unlikely to be completed that some people have speculated that Blizzard implemented some sort of helper mechanic to give the mask that you don't have a higher drop chance, but it's kind of unclear whether that's true. So most likely it will take you years to complete this achievement. Number 4 on this list is 1000 daily quests. This achievement is a really hard one because there's only one repeatable daily quest that is available at level 19, and that quest is the Call to Arms Warsong Gulch quest, which is offered every day by the Brigadier Generals for Alliance, or the Horde Warbringers for the Horde in each faction's main cities. This quest just requires you to win a Warsong Gulch battle every day. But without any other quests, this achievement would take 1000 days minimum to complete. However, many world events offer daily quests, and that allow you to complete a few extra daily quests per day, which turns this achievement from a 3-year minimum completion time to approximately a 1.5-year completion time if you do every daily quest from the world events. Coming in at number 3 on this list, we have Captain Rumsey's Logger and Tusk Armageddon, which are both similar achievements that come from the same event, the Kalawak Fishing Derby. I won't get into this very in-depth in this video since I discussed it in my previous video, but to summarize, Tusk Armageddon, which requires Exalted with the Kalawak, is able to be completed at level 19 by winning 17 Kalawak Fishing Derbies. This is a phenomenally difficult achievement due to how difficult it is to win one derby, let alone 17. Captain Rumsey's Lager, however, is a cooking achievement that just requires you to brew up some of Captain Rumsey's Lager. The difficulty with that achievement, though, is that the only way to get the recipe for that brew at level 19 is to loot it from a bag of fishing treasures. And the only way to get one of these bags is to turn in Better Luck Next Time, which is a quest that's offered when you catch the black tip shark for the Kalawak Fishing Derby, but aren't the first one to turn it in. Inside the bag of fishing treasures, you have a 1% chance to get the recipe. So every week you have a 1% chance to get the recipe, assuming you catch the black tip shark. Unfortunately, it's very common to go the entire duration of the event without catching the shark due to it having a low drop chance. So, on average, if you catch the shark each week, it will take you 25 months or about 2 years to get the recipe and complete this achievement. At number 2 on this list, we have 25 Exalted Reputations. This achievement makes Tusk Armageddon look easy in comparison. If you've ever heard of the Insane achievement, this is basically that on steroids. There are exactly 25 reps that you can get to Exalted at 19, so you'll need every single one. It's hard to quantify how difficult and time-consuming this achievement is at level 19, so instead, I've listed out every reputation that is possible, and I'm just going to go down the list and explain each of them to you. So first, let's start with the absolute easiest reputation to get Exalted, and that is Tranquillian. This is a faction located in Ghostlands that you can get to Exalted pretty quickly by just doing all of their quests. No dailies are required. The only unfortunate part though is that this faction is Horde only, meaning it's only possible for Horde characters to get 25 reps Exalted unless you faction change your Alliance character. The next easiest reps will be the 5 Home City reputations associated with your faction. Getting each of these to Exalted rewards you with an achievement called Ambassador of the Alliance or Ambassador of the Horde. These achievements are also the source of one of the few titles that 19 Twinks can obtain, but like Tranquillian, the Ambassador achievements are impossible to get if you're Alliance due to the lack of quests available. On Horde though, you can get each city faction to Exalted by repeatedly turning a quest in called Chen's Empty Keg, which is located in Ratchet. If you're Alliance, you will have to faction change and do Horde quests to get these reps to Exalted. The next easiest are going to be either the Silverwing Sentinels for Alliance or the Warsong Outriders for Horde. These are the battleground factions that are associated with Warsong Gulch. The only way to get rep with these factions is to have your side capture the flag. Every time your side captures the flag, you'll get 35 rep, and if it's a holiday weekend, that increases to 45. So to hit Exalted with 35 rep per flag, it would take 1200 flag captures, or about 400 wins to get Exalted. Next we have Timbermaw Hold, which is the faction of Furbolgs located in northern Fellwood. Getting this rep to Exalted just requires a high level to farm the Deadwood or Winterfall Furbolgs for you. The best place to do this is going to be Winterfall Village, located in Winterspring, and killing these mobs gives you about 20 rep per kill, 40 if you kill High Chief Winterfall, and 100 if you kill the rare mob that sometimes spawns. The issue with the regular mobs though is that they stop giving rep after Revered, meaning the only way you'll be able to get rep past Revered is to kill High Chief Winterfall. So if we look at the math, since you start at Hostile with Timbermaw, you'll need 27,000 rep to get to Revered, which means you'll have to kill about 1,350 normal mobs. And then from Revered to Exalted, you'll have to kill High Chief Winterfall 525 times. He has a respawn timer of about 7 minutes, meaning it will take you about 61 hours minimum to go from Revered to Exalted. As a side note, once you hit Honored, you can purchase a Furbolg medicine pouch from Gorn, One Eye, and Timbermaw Hold, and this is one of the best Twink offhands. Next is the Dark Moon Fair, which is a faction that you can only get rep with during their fair, which is on the first Sunday of each month, rotating between Elwyn Forest, Mulgore, and Terakar Forest. To get this to Exalted, you'll have to do the various turn-in quests, but at level 19, these quests have a reputation cutoff at 1100 into neutral, and then after which the only way to get rep is to turn in Dark Moon card decks, which give 350 rep per turn-in. So it would take you 117 Dark Moon decks to get to Exalted. These decks are commonly sold in the auction house, and they're usually not cheap, so this rep isn't that hard to get, it just requires you to farm a lot of gold to buy the decks. Next we have the Cenarian Circle, which is located in Silithus. This rep is another massive grind like the Timbermaw. It just requires you to kill the Twilight Cultists that have camps around the zone. But like the Timbermaw, these normal mobs stop giving rep after Revered. So after Revered, the only way to get rep is to kill a rare mob named Twilight Lord Everon for 5 rep, or to summon and kill the Abyssal Templars, Dukes, and Lords. To kill those, you'll need a high level to farm Twilight Cultist sets from the Cultists, and then you can use a Lesser Windstone to summon a Templar, which drops an Abyssal Crest and gives 5 rep. This also destroys their Cultist set in the process. And then once you have 3 Abyssal Crests and 1 large Brilliant Shard, you can make a Twilight Cultist Medallion of Station, which lets you summon a Duke that drops an Abyssal Signet and gives 25 rep. And then with 3 Abyssal Signets and 5 Large Brilliant Shards, you can make a Twilight Cultist Ring of Lordship, which lets you summon a Lord that gives 50 rep per kill. Repeat this process 124 times and you'll get 2 Exalted. Next we have the Argent Dawn, which is located in Eastern Plaguelands. This is another rep where you can easily get to Revered by just grinding the various mobs located in Western and Eastern Plaguelands. Plaguewood is a good spot to do this part, but like Cenarian and Timbermaw, once you hit Revered, you'll have to grind specific mobs for rep. Your only options at this point are going to be 30 rep at a time from Iraj in Western Plaguelands or a rare elite named Nerubian Overseer in Plaguewood. You'll have to kill these guys 700 times to go from Revered to Exalted. The next 4 reps are the 4 Steamweedle Cartel factions, Gadget Sand, Ratchet, Booty Bay, and Everlook. These reps are another massive grind that are easily farmed with a high level. The best spots to do this will be the pirates in Tanaris, the pirates south of Ratchet, or the pirates in Stranglethorn Vale. Unlike the other mob grinds, this can be done all the way to Exalted, but it just takes a really long time. Next we have the Shatari Skyguard, which is a faction located in Skedis in Terakar Forest. To get here, you'll need a Warlock to summon you, and then to get rep, you just have to farm the mobs in the area with a high level. Probably tens of hours minimum to get this rep to Exalted. And it's also the source of one of the coolest looking tabards you can get as a Twink, in my opinion. Next is either the Maghar if you're Horde, or the Kiranai if you're Alliance. These are the 2 rival factions located in Nagrand. These reps are fairly easy, they just require you to farm either the Merkblood mobs or the ogres in the zone. And the best place to do this is going to be either at Warmaul Hill or the Burning Blade Ruins. You do start at Unfriendly with these factions though, so it's going to take you a bit longer to grind than the Shatari. Every ogre kill gives about 10 rep, so in total it will take you about 4,500 ogre kills to get to Exalted. Next we have the Ogre Law, located in Blade's Edge Mountains. Getting here will require a Warlock summon like Skedis, and getting this rep to Exalted requires a high level in your group to complete the Shartool Transporter event, which gives you 1,750 rep per completion. You can do this in 12 days if you solo it, because it just requires a daily quest to do it every day. Or you could just pay people to do the rep grind and let you be in the group while they do it. Next we have 6 reputations who can all be farmed from the same source. These 6 are the second longest reps to grind and are a monumental task for anyone to complete. These are the Sporagar, the Shatar, the Consortium, Keepers of Time, Cenarian Expedition, and Lower City. The trick to getting these to Exalted are to open Ethereum prisons in Netherstorm. When a prison is opened, a random NPC from one of these factions will be inside, and you'll get 500 rep with their faction, or a hostile mob will spawn. To get the Ethereum prison keys required to open these, you'll need a high-level character to run hundreds of heroic mana tombs, which is where they drop, and then trade them to your Twink. Because it's random which creature will come out of the prison, you will need a lot more keys on average to make sure each gets to Exalted. The typical numbers I have seen for how many it takes to get them all Exalted is about 4,200 keys. This would take you months to do. Sporagar itself can be independently grinded to Exalted, but it wouldn't make sense to do, since they'll also get Exalted from doing this. And as a side note, once you get Sporagar and Cenarian Expedition to Exalted, you'll get the Diplomat and Guardian of Cenarius titles, which are the most prestigious titles that a Twink can have. And finally, the last rep is the Kalawak, which I went over in number 3. So yeah, 25 Exalted reputations is ridiculous, and I don't think any Twink in Wrath has ever gotten it. So with how insane number 2 is, what could possibly be harder? Well, this last achievement is only technically possible to get, but it is effectively impossible to get in our lifetimes. And that achievement is the Breadwinner. This achievement is like the quest version of Got My Mind on My Money. It just requires you to make 10,000 gold from quest rewards. The problem though is that if you do every single quest available at level 19, you will have made about 20 gold total from quests, after which the only source of gold is going to be 11 silver a day from the Call to Arms Warsong Gulch Daily and from the various world events. So, 10,000 gold minus 20 is 9,980 gold left. translate that to silver, and we need 998,000 silver. Divide by 11 silver a day, and you get 90,728 days, or about 248 years. So, maybe you can pass your Twink down like a family heirloom, with instructions to your future generations to keep doing the daily. And if Wrath Classic is still being played 248 years in the future, your great-great-great-great-great-grandson will get to finally see the breadwinner unlocked on the family Twink. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.